Any town or city has pros and cons of living there. Today, I am going to tell you the pros and cons of living in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Hi, I'm Lori Stevenson with Century 21 Accord Realty in Swift Current. And if you're just tuning into my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you know about all my new videos that I release every week. Let's start by talking about the pros and cons of living in a somewhat small town in Saskatchewan and how they balance out. So what about the size of our town? Specifically, our population. The population of Swift Current seems to be right around 17 to 18,000 people. The size of Swift Current has a couple pros and cons to go along with it. Pro, there is no crowds. Swift Current is large enough to have most of the amenities and activities that we want without all of the crowding that you would find in a much larger city. Most likely, you can get into that delicious restaurant with no wait and the live music downtown at a local restaurant. Well, it's probably free, pretty good, and not that crowded. A con, some of the bigger concerts and events pass us by because we don't have the population to support them. But hey, that's what cars are for. Many of the larger events are in Medicine Hat, which is only about 2 hours away, Regina, which is 2.5 hours, or Saskatoon, which is about 3 hours away by car. We also miss out on some of the chain restaurants due to a lower population as well, but I know our amazing local restaurants more than make up for that. Pro, small town, just one large community. And who needs 6 degrees of separation when you can have 2 degrees in Swift Current? You really can do business with a handshake and know your neighbor even if they live across town. The people of Swift Current are amazing. We are there for each other. We stand up for the things that we believe in. We help each other. You know, there are things that have happened in our community that are both good and bad, and people just show up and they do what they have to take care of each other. Now, there's a con for a small town as well. It's just one large community. Yeah, it's a pro and a con. Sometimes it feels like everyone knows everyone here, and that can be really frustrating at times. And of course, most times people know all of your business. Pro, there's no traffic on your commute. No commute, really. You can drive from one end of town all the way to the other in under about 10 minutes. Sure, there is some wonderful properties further out of town which might put you a touch over 10 minutes, but even then you won't get a traffic jam unless it's the Swift Current kind, which brings me to the con, a Swift Current traffic jam. I'm kind of torn on whether this is really a con. I mean, how many towns can say that they get to witness such a fun spectacle, even if it can make you late for work? It's usually dear. And if you're lucky like I was the other night, it can be a whole family walking across the road. In many areas of town, the grass and flowers will be snacks for the deer as they come through as well. It's a beautiful sight, but a little frustrating for some of the gardeners out there. Okay, next comes the climate of Swift Current, and I have to say this has pros and cons as well. So the pro is 4 seasons. So some people joke that there's only 2 seasons in Swift Current, and that's winter and construction. But really, we do have 4 separate seasons. Our spring and fall are maybe a bit more abbreviated than in some areas, but we truly get to enjoy all 4 seasons. Summer brings fun on the lake, camping, and even floating down the river. Winter brings snow sports just outside your door. So snowshoeing and sledding down our hills and much more. Con, the wind. Swift Current is known for plenty of wind that can sweep through no matter the season. Now, it doesn't happen every day, but honestly, sometimes it can feel that way. Sometimes it feels like it's always windy. I have to say, winter winds are my least favorite. Those cold, blowing winds can bring wind chills well below -30 or even -40. And a lot of those snow drifts can be very difficult to manage, especially if you have a car. So then you have summer winds, which can feel like a hairdryer on a bad day when it kicks up. But the pro is wind in all 4 seasons. You're all saying pro? How is that a pro? Well, yes. So rewind and listen to my first few pros. Population of Swift Current, the wind can be bad, so that can cause people to reconsider living here, which could be a factor in the smaller population. Although if you brave the wind, you will see it is absolutely worth it. The strong winds can also blow the insects that we have right out of town. So fresh air is definitely a pro. So to review, we have 5.5 pros versus 4 cons. I really had to reach for some of those cons. The biggest con for living in Swift Current is the wind, and it still has some positives that come with it. So all in all, I'd say the pros have it. Swift Current is a great place to live. This is Lori Stevenson helping you move up to your Swift Current dream home.